Tom and Dan Watering Holes. Check out tomanddanwateringholes.com. Home of Salty Sisters Bar and Grill. That's Tiffany's bar.
Yep, she just installed a new playground in her huge back area where the stage is.
She's
all sand.
always doing work on her bar, always making it better, and she really cares about parents, and she wants you to have an uninterrupted smash burger and a beer.
Yeah, while your kid plays on the brand new playground.
She does an amazing job. She really does an amazing job, so please check out Salty Sisters Bar and Grill.
Also, 1010 Brewing, we've known Mike Wallace for, more than a decade now. If you want some delicious beers, they're constantly doing events. They're right over here near the studio.
1010 Virginia Drive. We just found that out last week. We were like a couple of idiots. But they're always doing something, man. Killer beer and great food.
Yep. Also, we have a bunch of watering holes in Sanford. Of course, West End, Celery City.
The Sullivan is there.
Well.
You hit Celery City. What else is there?
Also like Paul's.
Hollabox. Well, it's not really a watering hole, but you can drink outside. That's why I always get confused. It's like, the
Hollabox is a watering hole, basically.
I mean, you could sit outside and drink delicious German beer, but I get confused sometimes.
But their hurricane party, Paul's hurricane party, is coming up May 31st. You can get your tickets at drinkatwestend.com.
15th year.
Yeah, it's 18th year. Oh. 18 years of hurricane party.
It is 18 years.
And
why did I say 15 years?
That's May 31st. You can get your tickets, and that's always a good time. So visit all of our watering holes at tomanddanwateringholes.com. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you'd come hang out and join us. Just search for @TomandDanLive. That's basically all of our social media. Every night we get a 4K replay on YouTube. If you like watching the podcast and you're a podcast guy, so you can do it later, you know what I mean, on demand.
Yep.
We have 4K, man, on the YouTube. Our good friend SJ has been making us look really, really pretty. We put a lot of time and effort into the cameras here in the studio, so hang out with us over on YouTube and Twitch @TomandDanLive.
Yeah, it does help us if you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Obviously 2025, build that up a little bit.
Yeah, you would think. Should have put more heat on that earlier, right?
Well, not necessarily. I like
so many things. You got to stoke so many little digital fires.
I always take it that we're audio first. More people can consume audio only than any other media form.
In fact, it's a fallacy that a lot of younger podcasters that start out think that they need a video component. You do not. In fact, I would say start audio, because more people consume audio than they do video. Video, you have to be engaged.
Yeah, you could.
We don't have to be, but for the most part, you want to be.
Driving, walking your dog, exercising, it's just audio only anyway.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, obviously it made headlines all over social media.
I thought it was
the amount
a joke.
of videos.
It does sound like a joke, right? Headline: Mexican Navy hits Brooklyn Bridge, right? Sounds like a joke. Sounds like a racist joke.
And this one in particular is crazy because the amount of footage online is there are
endless
angles from every direction, obviously, because
you know what we don't have, which I thought we might? Mexican sailor falling off, like his camp, from his view.
No,
I'm just saying. No, not the ones that died, obviously. I'm saying, two people died. It's serious. Well, I'm saying, they do this ceremony going into port, going and leaving.
Leaving,
No, both.
Oh, both?
Yeah,
okay.
Coming and going. They line the masts with the sailors and coming and going. And so I would imagine at some point, one of those sailors has whipped out his iPhone and caught some footage of it, right?
What they may not be able to have their iPhone in their I don't know, but you're right.
But this is like a very beautiful ceremonial boat, right? And they're doing I think it's circumvented the globe 4 different times successfully.
It was heading to Iceland, and I guess it lost power and drifted into the Brooklyn Bridge. 2 people died. There's other 2 people in critical.
I've seen some pretty horrible video that I wish were not allowed on. It's tough to open I'm eating an English muffin. And you open TikTok and then you just see people dying.
Well, because there's thousands of people around and this ship is drifting and then people are just filming it. So there's graphic video.
The weirdest one to me, and it's probably the most famous one, is it's kind of like a bro. It's like 2 bros. Yeah. And you can hear the guy go it's crashing. Oh man, it's crashing, which is a completely human response because you don't know what's happening here. But now he is forever on film laughing as sailors fall to their death.
It's
you
crazy.
see what I'm saying? saying it's a very weird time to be alive.
So I text the gentleman that we had on a Weird Job Wednesday,
Yes.
Clark, the tugboatman, and
we've had this guy on more times. Like, this guy is he's our official tugboat man.
Yeah, it just so happened that part of the story was they were saying that there should have been tugboats,
Well, New York City is
escorting
claiming that Mexico, obviously it's their navy, would have been on the hook for paying for a tugboat. And you can see a tugboat in some of the actual photos, but it's chasing the boat. It's like trying to get there. It wasn't like controlling the boat.
Yeah,
and it probably should have been controlling the boat through.
So BDM Clark, our official tugboat correspondent, is on the line. How you doing, Clark?
Doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
So, Clark,
I could hear you breathing, and I potted you up, and then you were doing some weird breathing. I had to pot you back down. What do you got? You got an upper respiratory? What are you dealing with?
He was riding a tractor earlier, and you had to take a break.
Doing some farming out here.
Okay, all right. It's a real man. Real men do real men things.
So, Clark, did you see the story?
Yeah, I checked it out a little bit. It looks like they got an 1,800 horsepower diesel, and I don't know if it was retrofitted or what it was built with, but they got that thing hanging out on it, and I guess they lost power to it. So what you guys were talking about with the tugboats, normally for a sailboat or a larger vessel like that, we're going to be either pulling them or pushing them in and or out, but it seemed like they were already underway, so that tugboat that was trailing it would be like the emergency boat coming for it.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, Clark, I would imagine that if you have a boat that's taller than a bridge that's nearby or
as a rule, I just wouldn't get near bridges because you could drift into it. No, I'm being dead serious. As a captain, Captain Dan says, hey, our mast is taller than this bridge, so we're just never going to get anywhere near it because we could drift into it and break our boat all to pieces.
Well,
we can never go that way.
Especially if the current and the wind is going that direction, which I'm sure they plan for. And Clark, do you know, like, normally in these situations, is there a mandatory tugboat, basically assigned to a vessel, and in case of, loss of power or whatever, there's some sort of protocol where the tugboat can latch onto it and pull it away from the bridge? Or, like, how does that work?
All right, so where he's at, technically, I don't know the exact ruling for his type of vessel, but he would be able to traverse that waterway because it's not actually in a port. I mean, yes, there are docks up and down the side and stuff like that, but it's technically not part of the port, so he would have to get himself certified. He'd be talking to the tower guy that's controlling the bridge or on the bridge, and they would know all about this stuff. God.
You're fine.
You're a real man.
Now that you're part of our show, you're part of the show, look, I'm going to give you your employee handbook in a couple of weeks, and it's got a couple of paragraphs in there about words on the show.
So
sorry,
I'm not into over preparing for safety, obviously.
So you're calling yourself Mexican Navy Tom, is what you call yourself.
Well, but it would make sense to me, especially with so many people on board, with the obviously, like, the instance where that other ship drifted into a bridge that actually caused the bridge to collapse.
That ship also lost power.
Yeah, and you would think,
and planes are losing power. What's up with everything losing power?
Well, during the ceremony, obviously there's Mexican Navy that are standing on these masts, like in multiple levels, and then you would think that someone would be like, all right, well, all these people are vulnerable standing on these masts that are taller than this bridge.
So we should never get it close to the bridge. That goes back to what I was saying.
Or have some emergency, like if we do lose power, like we can't have this thing drifting towards this bridge with a lot of humanity or sailors standing on the mast, because that could cause deaths. So How could there be no backup
But it's
plan?
not as impressive if you leave port with everybody inside the boat.
No, but even then,
right?
Have some sort of tugboat in front of the boat?
Yeah, I don't understand why it was. I don't understand why with a mast very, very tall. Nobody's just said this. See, I'm a very simple boy. It's taller than the bridge. So why was it even there?
Well, it's taller. It's taller than the part of the bridge that it hit. It would have probably made it clear under the bridge where it was supposed to go under.
Too tight. We can never go that way. I'm back to see. You see what I'm saying? I'm a cautious captain. Too tight. What, do we got a couple inches there?
Well,
as we're going under? That's too tight.
But isn't there, backup plans for loss of power? Like, I know there's backup plans
Most ships, yeah, you're going to have a second engine. Like, I've got 2 engines, so one goes down, I can still limp my way around, but that boat was built in the 80s, and it only has 1 motor. So the best thing they could have done, which I still don't understand why they didn't, they could have just dropped anchor as soon as they found out mechanical failure.
Oh, so as soon as no power, boom, we're in this channel area. We could drift to the bridge, drop anchor. We got to drop anchor, and then all you guys get off the rafters. You got to get off the mast because we're done. Yeah, okay.
If you're drifting like that, dropping anchor would stop that boat, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, it's a ceremonial boat, but it is an actual functioning boat. But I don't know why the hell they're driving the damn thing around.
Well, that's a different,
it's easy for you to say.
You're promoting
I've
the
seen
Navy.
your boat, not that cool. This is a cool boat.
So Clark, let me ask you, there was a tugboat that was seen in the video on the side, seemingly trying to get in front of the boat. Could there be anything the tugboat could have done if it got in front of the boat earlier? Would it just block it and then push it the other direction, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, just like we talked about last time, the last sailboat that hit me broke in half. But yes, you could get in front of it and use our big giant tires to push it in a way. But I mean, I think this is still like a 300 or something foot boat. So it would just be a matter of once you do push the front end away, the back end's going to start coming. So how could you get to it? You could definitely slow it down, but it's kind of like balancing it.
You kind of just spin it, right?
Yeah.
Like you hit the front, then it starts spinning. Well, I mean, maybe it gives the guys on the mast time to get down. I don't know.
And can they throw ropes to you and you hook up? Yeah, okay.
But this is it's a ceremony ship, and these people are doing some sort of ceremony. I'm not sure how Navy ready this Mexican Army is.
I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out for you. The optics on that, it just doesn't sound good, right? It just doesn't sound. That's what I said to Tom this morning. I was like, "Did you hear about the Mexican Navy? It sounds terrible when you say it."
I traded pornos, soccer balls, and beer for catching tuna fish off of Mexican Navy Island.
We talked about that.
That's right. You are officially part of the Mexican Navy. That's right. I forgot about that.
Well, it seems like so terrifying that the crew was standing on the mast and they knew they were heading towards the bridge. I'm sure they knew they were out of power, and then they were still up there. You seem like you could get down quickly, but maybe not.
It goes back to what the cautious Captain Dan. Look,
you couldn't rappel down.
It's too tight here. We're not doing the ceremony. Or we'll just do the lower half. Just on the first 6 feet. You can just go up there, but we're not going all the way to the top.
Because essentially, if those people weren't up there didn't have to be deaths. It would just knock off the top 3 masts, and they would crash.
St. Augustine at the Bridge of Lions all the time.
And it would be obviously a huge problem. Obviously, they broke the ship, and then apparently the bridge wasn't damaged at all.
Yeah, the bridge is fine.
But the people, no one had to die, and it's like. And then again, the video from every direction is crazy because that's the world we live in. That there's this happens with. I mean, there's hundreds of videos of it,
and they're hard to watch with the reactions because people don't know what to do. There's one of a lady in a high rise, and she's like, "Look at this. This can't be right." Oh, and then she's laughing. She's like, "Oh, no, oh my, oh, this is not good." You go through these weird Like you're like real time videoing yourself reacting to something, and it may or may not be a good look.
I wonder if people are going to be trained to be cognizant of the audio in their video
Yeah, I'll be
when
quiet.
they're video tragedies.
I'll be watching someone get murdered. I'm just quiet. Yeah.
Or
I have to
you
be
start
silent.
commentating
I
like
don't
a
wanna get
news
killed.
person.
Like you're being stabbed, and I'm just videoing it. I was like, I don't want to get stabbed.
Well, Clark, I mean, you think something like this is going to cause like some sort of regulation in New York where it's like every boat has got to be escorted by a tugboat?
Well, that's dumb. Here's the regulation: no more ceremonies in the channel. We're good. If we do no more ceremonies, we're good. It's dumb. It's not. It'll be a knee-jerk reaction. So now every boat has to pay for a tugboat. They shouldn't have to. The only problem with this is the people were on the mast. If those people weren't on the mast, you just said it. It just smashes the boat. Big deal. We fixed the boat. We can't fix people.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's just it was a dumb thing to do. It was dangerous.
Yeah, but I guess I've probably been doing it for 100 years or whatever. Yeah, but
they said they've
People want
circumvented
their parties.
They said they circumvented the globe 4 different times in and out of ports, actively doing the ceremony. So.
Hey, Clark, how much is a tugboat escort? Do you even know what like the Mexican
I bet
Navy
they're
would pay?
fat as hell. Tugboat escorts are big fat ladies, right?
They're the ones you can't fit through the ship.
Yeah.
door.
Oh, I like that. I like them big.
No, a tugboat. So for me, like when I'm pulling on a cruise ship, getting it in and out of the port is somewhere around $3,000.
Okay, it's not that much. You know
Not
what I'm saying? Like, I thought it would be way more if they were going to, deny the extra precaution of a tugboat
Maybe
escort.
they didn't know. I don't know how many times they've been to this port.
You're right. Yeah. They could have done this hundreds of times.
Yeah, who knows?
One of the things you were asking, Tom, was, is it going to change anything? Yeah, absolutely. Regulations are going to go crazy up there, and you're going to have to get tendered on anything under X amount of size. We'll change some rules.
Yeah. And usually these things, like any sort of disaster, always changes the way things are done.
Hey, solidifying your job, buddy. You could just put another feather in your cap.
Yeah, one of the cool things you said, so that tugboat that got there, I'm assuming was one of just a backup or on-call tug. So I've done trips out through and sitting in ports and stuff like that. And they'll put you on call. And so if anything comes in or out that needs a tug, they'll call you up. But if there's an emergency situation, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or so, a cruise ship line broke, and then our tug ended up going down, so we had to call in another backup tug, and you always have one on call. So.
And how many tugboats do you think are in, like, the New York marina at any given time?
The cargo port, you're probably looking at 20, maybe 25 in rotation.
That's a lot of tuggers.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, that's a lot of tugboats.
All right. You need two per container ship just to move it around and get it parked.
Well, hey, man, thank you so much for the time, and we always appreciate you taking the call and teaching us a little bit more about ships and tugboating.
What are you doing on your tractor this morning, Clark?
Mowing 23 acres.
All right.
Yeah.
And
it's
then,
like a grass tugboat.
Do you listen to a podcast while you do that, or just real man silent?
Sometimes I listen to a podcast, but most of the time I'm just listening and paying attention to the motor.
And which podcast is rocking your tractor balls?
Tom and Dan.
Yeah, that's the soundbite. Print that.
All right, Clark, we'll talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.
All right, thanks. I'm going to go.
Oh, no, I did it. Hung up on him. Yeah, it's sad. Those
crazy.
20-year-old and a 23-year-old died doing that. I mean, they probably didn't have to be standing up there, right?
So, you did something. It makes me awkward every time you do it, but you...
Do you like it or not like it?
I think you're bettering the earth.
Thank you.
And you are...
Thank you. It's one of the greatest
doing
things
the Lord's work.
It's one of the greatest, maybe the greatest thing I do. It might be the only good thing I do.
And that's shaming litterers.
Yeah, I shame people that litter. And there were some teens yesterday I had stopped by Publix Liquors for a tall boy.
Okay, all right.
And,
it's a weird place to go for a tall boy.
Oh, they got a special right now. It's like a 2 for $5. It's fantastic. The big ones, too. The ones you can kill somebody with.
What a homeless man would like, right?
What a homeless man would like. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the look that I'm sort of going for lately is very much like a bit of a small homeless man.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm coming out of the Publix Liquors, and I don't know if other little cities, Castleberry, I'm in Baldwin, Orlando, Winter Garden, Winter Haven, Maitland. I don't know if they have little packs of electric bike gangs. But Baldwin has we have a bunch of these snotty-ass rich kids on their Ciron electric dirt bikes.
Yeah. The Castleberry, not so much. They're still running regular powered bikes.
I like that. Say, I support that. I love a good foot-powered bike. So these little chunky kids on their little Ciron, and they're all chunky, because the electric bike is making your kids fat. I'll say it. If you bought your kid an electric bike and the kid's husky, they're going to stay husky. Because guess what's better than a regular bike? Hitting the juice on the electric bike, and you're going to stay husky. If you bought your son,
I hate doing work,
and you can see it. So all these little huskies are out here riding their electric bikes all around, and they have their little gang, and then they have it's funny because you can see them kind of doing tricks and stuff to try and impress the girls, and then there's a pack of little girls that are sitting on a little circle. So I'm coming out of Publix Liquors, and these kids are doing little Ciron tricks and stuff, cutting off cars. Cars are honking. It's a mess.
Now you're coming out of Publix Liquors with a giant tall boy in a brown bag.
A giant Coors Light, a C- tall boy in a brown bag.
Yeah.
And I roll the top of the brown bag down just a little bit so you can see the top of it.
Yeah. A big white beard.
Big white beard, and I have on my Florida hat. It's a black trucker hat that has scrambled eggs on the front of it like a grandpa, and then it just has the letters F and L on the top of it. It looks a little biker.
Yeah.
It does look a little biker. And then I've got on I'm just dressed sloppy. I'm just dressed sloppy. And so I'm coming out, and I got my tall boy, and they're doing their tricks and everything, and I notice that they've got a bag of Doritos, and they open the bag of Doritos, and then they just start throwing the Doritos everywhere. I don't know why they're doing this. And then the one kid with the Ciron is jumping the bag of Doritos with his bike and then putting his back tire on it and peeling out. So pieces of Dorito bag paper are just being torn and thrown everywhere.
Okay, all right. So the bag, too.
The bag is being shredded by the power of this electric wheel. Right. It's got so much torque, Tom. I don't know if you've driven one of these Cirons, but they're modern marvels.
Okay, before we move forward.
Yeah, please ask me any question.
Let me ask you your opinion on throwing away food trash.
I'm a little different on food trash.
Banana peel, chips, anything biodegradable or animals could eat.
There's a lot of squirrels around here. Chips, I'm actually decent with. I'm okay.
Although it does seem
it's trashy.
Rude.
It's trashy.
And trashy.
People are walking here. People have to walk through this. They don't want to walk through Dorito dust and get it all over their shoes. Yes.
And then
you do have a point.
And then my wife's always yelled at me because I'll throw food trash out my car window like a banana peel, right?
Yeah.
And I'll try to throw it into the woods or far into the grass.
I put it dead center of the highway.
But Crystal, she's like, don't do that. It attracts the animals and they get hit by cars.
I'm trying to attract bears for Ted Nugent. He told me, he's like, put the banana peels directly in the middle of the road.
Anyway, so they're burning out their Doritos.
Yeah, and it's just Doritos everywhere. It's
that's pretty awesome.
It looks fun. It does look fun. There's a part of me that looks at that. A young Dan would have looked at that. But when I saw them doing the peel out on the Doritos, and the Doritos are going everywhere, and it's really just making the sidewalk, a 4-foot patch of sidewalk, literally unwalkable.
Yeah.
Unless you want to get covered in Doritos. And I don't know why I said this, but I'm coming out with my tall boy, and I look at them, and I go, what the hell are you doing? That's exactly what I said.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, I'll do it again. I go, what the hell are you doing? Like that. It was really loud. It was very aggressive. It was a reaction.
They deserve that.
Yeah. And I kid you not, all of them, the girls, all the boys, I called him. I was talking to Tracy a little bit about him. I called him Kid Cudi and Jack Harlow. And they turned to me, and I go, what the hell are you doing? And then the one kid goes, we'll pick it up, sir. Dude, it was a level of respect. It was a level of respect that I don't get in my house. I don't get from my wife. I don't get it from my daughter. I've never gotten it from you. I've never gotten it from anyone. The Lord, the Savior, Jesus Christ never gave it to me. My mom and dad's love
He cursed
never.
you.
He did. And then we'll pick it up, sir. And you know what I said? I doubled down. Because I grabbed the Dorito bag, the biggest part of it, and I go, "You've proven to me that I can't trust you."
Oh, you shamed him more.
I doubled down on the shame, and they went back. Those two kids, Kid Cudi and Jack Harlow, because that's kind of what they look like. They, with their little Baldwin Park hands, scooped up those Doritos and put them in the trash, and they picked up every single piece of that Dorito bag. Every single piece.
That's good.
And I was so filled with I was like, you know what?
Power, respect.
But we're going to be okay. I was like, they made a mistake.
Yeah, but if little homeless Danny wasn't there to yell at them, because
I scared him bad. Is it the beard? Is it the hat? What is it? I've never been treated like this before. The hair, see, my hair's getting longer in the back, so I got like this little homeless man thing going.
The tall boy in the brown bag.
It all plays. The limp. What about the limp?
The
war
limp,
veteran. Like it's stolen valor at this point. Those kids don't know I never fought for nothing. I've never fought in my life.
You need camo pants.
I do need camo pants. Is that stolen valor if I do camo pants?
No, you're just wearing camo pants.
No. I'm not going to do camo pants. I'm going to do the green real army pants. I'm going to get the real ones.
Yeah, like Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm going to get Vietnam pants.
That's not stolen valor.
Yeah.
You're just wearing like Vietnam pants.
I'm not going to wear any medals or anything. That's crazy. I'm not going to disrespect my brothers in arms.
These are
I'm just giving an essence of crazy.
Yeah, Vietnam pants and a POW shirt. That's it. You're not stolen valor.
No, I'm supporting the POWs.
And
I'm supporting them.
Tall boy with the brown bag.
With the brown bag. Yeah, they were so scared.
Yeah. Now, because I grew up in a time where riding your dirt bike on the street was a crime, and I was afraid to do that. In fact, my brother got a ticket in Deltona that he ended up getting a warrant out for his arrest.
I hate saying this because this is so not cool. These kids are going to get hurt. See, that's such a not cool thing to say, right? It's such a stupid thing. No, but
I don't care. I like.
They're going to get hurt. No, they're cutting off cars in a parking lot on a bike that'll do 110 miles an hour.
I like the Surratt electric bikes. My buddy Turkey Leg rides them around Miami.
Great. I love
Lawless.
Them. They're just dangerous, dude.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, and then that's up to the kids and their parents. That's up to them. I don't care. But what I'm saying is, aren't these kids worried that the cops are going to give them a ticket?
No cops around here.
There is cops around here.
No.
There are cops.
Yeah, but they let the white kids just run wild. They let them run wild. Yeah, we have wild, rich white kids that run wild through the streets of Baldwin. I hate them.
And is it because
they're so annoying? Go up here every afternoon at 3:15 and see how annoyed you are.
So my brother was white, and he was riding around Deltona on his dirt bike.
Did he go to jail?
And he got a warrant out for his arrest later, but he definitely got a ticket for riding his dirt bike. Now, it was a 4-stroke 240 Honda, loud.
They're going to find you, yeah.
So is it just the electric component of it that keeps the cops from giving... because it's the same exact thing. It's not a street legal. It's an off-road vehicle.
It goes faster. I would argue that it's more dangerous, dude. It's so quick.
I'm just saying, is it quick as a dirt bike? But is the difference the electric versus a 4-stroke dirt bike? You know what I'm saying? Like how loud it is.
Yes.
Because
you can't sit there and have the thing running. They're just sitting there on the bike, and whenever they just want to gas it, they'll just do a trick and then come back and sit with their friends. You can't hear it. You couldn't just sit. You're just gonna have that thing running the whole time.
No, I know.
You couldn't do it
if you had a regular dirt bike that was combustion. You would get people calling.
You'd hear it from blocks away.
Well, they'd call the cops if there was teens riding regular dirt bikes. But the electric, and the
profile. I think we've talked about this many times. But one of the things we don't talk about is the size, the profile of the bike.
They're smaller.
They are, but they're
like a bicycle kind of.
They kind of emulate like e-bikes, and I don't think cops or even parents know the difference. Ciron though is a legitimate motorcycle.
It's a dirt bike.
It's a motorcycle.
It's an electric dirt bike that is. I guess you could put in the category of enduro. It can go off road and on road,
hill climbing, right?
But I did see some TikTok video of cops they're cracking down on kids doing tricks because essentially now like like the 12 O'Clock Boys, where that documentary in Baltimore, where basically people will just drive four-wheelers and dirt bikes and do wheelies on the street.
Yeah.
And in certain cities, they've outlawed chasing them because it ends up being more dangerous. But then that it caused essentially anarchy, and there's just gangs of a lot of them are kids, or younger teens, doing wheelies on dirt bikes.
It's hard to do what you got to do when you're fighting an army of kids. You know what I mean?
In Miami, this happens a lot. I even saw this a little bit in Orlando.
We've had them roll through here. No, from Tampa. They'll come down from Tampa and roll through.
So, and a lot of them are turning to electric bikes because first it's they're silent, which I'm sure, but
they're just pull it into anywhere, turn it off, and hide.
You could do wheelies and do the same tricks as you do on a dirt bike, but I guess the video I saw was a cop literally grabbing some teen off his electric dirt bike after doing a wheelie.
Yeah,
they're stop. I guess
this is becoming a thing. Our buddy Tizzy, that he kind of does he finds people on the internet that are doing bad things.
Yeah.
There's a guy, I want to say Miami. There's some teens doing the same thing I'm talking about on the Cirons, and then he'd had enough, so he got out of his car and started beating them all up, beating all the teens up, which you can't do.
Why are you beating them up? I don't understand why.
His anger got him, he's so mad. And Christine
blocking traffic.
Christine said it in the chat room. She said, "We have a roving group of bike kids who play chicken with cars in the neighborhood, and intrusive thoughts will win one day, and I will hit them." Yes, we all know it is a cliche. All of our neighborhoods have these little gangs of bike punks, and they like to screw around, and we all did it. I did it. But it's you cannot beat them up. You can't hit them. You can't.
Well, why are you even thinking about that? You're like, I want to kill this teen for having fun.
But you also want the parents to know that those kids probably should not be doing that, right? There's a balance of that.
That's the most dangerous thing I could possibly think of is riding around the streets
on a motorcycle.
On an electric bike, effing around.
Now they did. Both these kids I was talking to, they had on helmets, and the good ones. They had full face. They had the dirt bike helmets, but it's a dirt bike. So it really has no business in a parking lot of a Publix, because you're going to end up popping a wheelie and hitting some grandma, and then your whole family's going to get sued.
Well, that's what I'm so surprised. Even with Turkey Lake, my buddy that rides around Miami, I'm like, aren't you worried? Every time that when he brought him up to Satellite,
he's a different breed. He fast and loose.
But when I was riding him around Satellite Beach, I was constantly looking for cops, expecting one to pull me over and be like, "Hey, what are you doing, old man? You can't drive this on the street."
Yeah.
And then it never happened.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, if this was a dirt bike, and back in the 90s, I rode dirt bikes on the street in Miami and in Orlando, and I knew if a cop saw me, for sure a ticket, maybe even impound my dirt bike. They'll impound your bike to if they get you. And and that was 100% in my mind. If a cop sees me riding my dirt bike on the street, I am going to get stopped. There's no way they're just going to be like, "Oh, let's let them have fun." But it doesn't happen with the electric bikes, and it has to only be the fact that they're electric.
We probably will.
It's the same thing.
We probably will see something change soon.
Yeah. Which sucks. Right now, I guess they should enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, I would. I mean, because
it will change.
Honestly, but I mean, if you were anywhere but here, right? To me, I'm not anti-fun. I do see the problem here. That's going to end up being a problem.
You're in the Publix parking lot.
Too many cars. There's too many cars. You need to, even if you're just riding it around the streets of Orlando, I would still say, just wear a helmet, but it's still super dangerous.
But also, you're doing a wheelie. I know wheelies, and you can get out of control, and then or whiskey throttle it by accident, and then it can
slam on the back of your head.
Well, there's people, grandmas going at getting groceries at Publix, you whip
There's
that.
Grandpas coming out of Publix Liquors with their tall boys, sir. There's Grandpa, little Grandpa.
If you wheelied into Daniel, he'll never be the same. He'll never walk again.
This kid could have killed me. What if I'd slipped on those Doritos? But anyway, to get back to this new look that I'm kind of going through,
more respect,
and I'm continuing it. So and people have asked, "Oh, what are you doing?" Or why? I am not cutting my hair, facial and head. I'm still bicking my pubes. But everything else is it's growing. I'm taking it all the way to 2026.
Oh, the whole year?
Yeah, I'm doing it the whole year.
All right,
I'm doing the whole year just to see if I can, because I haven't done it, and we have a job where I can do that.
Yeah,
So I should take advantage of that, right? Kind of like the Sirons, like take advantage of it.
The more crazy you look, the better for the show.
That's what you said. And I'm already
people are like, "What's happening?"
I'm already getting better respect from it. Look at how people are treating me. Don't dress like the audience. Dress like the person on the stage, right? Or dress like the homeless.
A bum. Anyway, we've got some bunch of Fringe guests in because it's Fringe Week, so we will be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and we'd love it if you'd head over there and check it out. Just search for Tom and Dan Live on Twitch or at Tom and Dan Live on YouTube.
The Orlando Science Center has a brand new exhibit that is just started this past weekend. It's about superheroes. If you're looking to get in the AC and escape the heat.
Let me tell you something. It's DC in the AC.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Science Night Live is May 31st. That's the, where they open it up just for adults. Yep. They have cocktails and...
a little snack. Get yourself a Horty Orb. As my dad couldn't say the word hors d'oeuvre. He called them Horty Orbs. Get yourself a Horty Orb and a nice beverage. And learn something with your lovely wife, date, or whomever.
Yeah, it's all about DC Comics and superheroes for Science Night Live.
Batman, Superman,
So if you're an adult into superheroes and you want to walk around the Science Center with some drinks, that's May 31st.
Can I tell you something serious? And we'll get to our guests. I'm dead serious when I say this. I think adults are more into superheroes than kids. I think kids are like, this is boring.
Yeah. My kids are into Roblox.
Yeah, because Roblox
digital
is
casino. And now I'm with them.
And speaking of digital casino, if you were to pull the Weatherman Casino handle and our favorite weather person were to fall out of a slot machine, ladies and gentlemen, it would be our good friend Mike from Mike's Weather Page. What's going on, man?
I like that slot machine.
Yeah, well, our kids are addicted.
Like weather.
Do you have any?
You don't know what you're going to get when you pull that handle, right?
Are your kids addicted to the Roblox? Are they all stuck in the internet like our kids?
Mine's addicted to Snapchat and TikTok.
Okay, all right, they're there.
Me too.
Yeah.
Although Snapchat, I thought that was 10 years ago, Mike.
No, Snapchat's huge. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it's still big.
Oh, okay.
Still big.
I love my TikTok. I will admit, I'm a TikTok junkie. If I had to pick between Netflix and TikTok, 99% of the time I'm going to bed watching TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah,
look at you.
Yeah, me too. Me and Mike are. I just sit there and
watch PBS. I watch a lot of Antiques Roadshow.
It gives you what you want, Mike. That's the best part. Whatever you want to see, it gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Oh, I love that. Write that down.
Like,
where'd you hear
every
that?
flick of the thumb, I'm like, what's next? What's next?
I know. That's what Tom says.
It's endless. And it's always good.
You know what? I love Mike so much, but I feel like you might be my Mike from Mike's Weather Page. You're very Mike adjacent. I think you are. I see some true friendship here.
I know. I got a business idea for you later on, Mike.
Please don't bring that up to Mike.
Yeah.
He told me. Okay, we'll get to it. He told me some dumb idea off the air that he wants to ask you about, and I said, do not do that.
Well, Daniel doesn't know business.
Yeah, I don't. And we're so close to, let's get into the business. We are hurricane season. It's coming, right?
Oh, yeah. Can't hide. It's here. I can feel the vibe. People get pissed when I'm talking about it, but you know what? We have to talk about it.
Yeah. Why do they get mad about it? It's a part of living when you live in Florida and you enjoy living in Florida, being aware of storms and being, I guess, like normalized to a point where you take them seriously but don't freak out, right? Like, isn't that where we're supposed to be? Somewhere in the middle?
Mike, I know why. It's because people are superstitious and they're like, oh, don't talk about hurricanes. Oh, knock on wood. They believe knocking on wood.
You can still do that.
They have powers of some sort.
You can still do that for peace of mind and also believe in science. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I know reality and then I just knock on the wood anyway.
Well, the one thing that got me going last year more than anything is, first you try not to read comments, but I do. We all do. But I started getting this vibe of people saying, that's what you get for living in Florida. That's what you get. That's what you get. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, what about the flooding in the Carolinas? What about the damn tornadoes that are just rocking everybody right now? And out west, they got fires and blizzards and mudslides and earthquakes and tsunamis. I mean, Florida, we have hurricanes, but they're coming. Every other disaster, you don't have much time. So I think it's a good thing we live here.
They hate us because they ain't us. That's what I say, and then I point to my butthole.
Did you? Yeah, I was about to say, did you say anus?
I did say anus, and you can say it. They hate it. You could use that on and next time you're doing the brew, and these people come in there and start trolling. You say you hate us because you ain't us.
So, Mike,
and then point to your butthole.
Before we talk about hurricanes, let's talk about there is some cold weather coming at the end of May. I saw, I follow Mike on Instagram.
And everybody should, yeah.
And so, because it's been hot lately, right?
Yeah. Well, a little bit of that sarcasm. So instead of 96, it's going to be 92.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold north of the state line. You can go everybody else is going to enjoy 40s and 50s.
Yep.
And but Florida, maybe the Panhandle, maybe in the 60s, like Friday. I don't know, but yeah, May typically is hot. I mean, it's our dry season. It's hot. It is kind of normal, but we're breaking records. So, it's hot, but we're breaking records. So it's hotter than normal.
Yeah.
So, Mike, help me understand, like, going into this hurricane season where we hear it every year of, like, it's projected to be a busy season and it seems to me like the global weather patterns are basically the same as they were last year with tiny variances and, like, what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that's going to change extremely that would cause mass catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mass-tastrophe is that's what we call it.
I'm just saying, I think people are like, oh, what's coming this year?
Right.
And it's pretty close to last year, right?
Totally. I mean, first thing I look at is this thing called La Nina, El Nino. It's a pattern that really is the Bermuda High in a sense, and where that's going to set up. We were almost in the exact same pattern as last year. Water temps are maybe a little bit cooler, but really they're not. If you look at the last week, they're skyrocketing. I think too much hype is put into the water temps. It doesn't take much to create a bad storm. So, yeah, the biggest thing for me is that steering mechanism that we saw last year, more of a west push. Years that we have this neutral La Nina, we have less fish storms. And we have more push west because we have a stronger Bermuda High. Basically, it comes down to that. Waters are hot. So, everything's lining up. I tell people, everybody wants to know how many names we're going to get. That's what some people judge a busy season, like how many names we're going to get. But, like 23, I remind folks, 23 was the fourth largest season ever. We had 20 named storms in 23. And unless you went through Idalia, it was a dead season. And that's what everybody told me. Oh, what a bust, what a bust, what a bust. But we had 20 named storms. Last year, we had less.
Yeah.
The preseason predictions were like, oh, my God, we're going to run out of names. We're going to have 30 named storms. We only had 18. But comparing 24 to 23 was way worse.
Oh, the anxiety of 2023 storm-wise, because there were so many named. I would put I think I'm a professional anxiety person. I think I can take that credit. And 2023, one would get named, and you'd be like, "Oh God, do we have all our stuff? We're going to lose power." You know what I mean? Like, but last year was different. Now, what I was reading a little bit before you came on about the likelihood of us getting a named storm before May 15th has always been sort of this like marker that some people use. Do you ever use that? Or because I know last year we didn't have one, this year we haven't had one. Like what is your sort of take on that, Mike?
Yeah, I think we've had more systems in May than we've had not. Like It's rare that we don't have a system in May. But it really doesn't signify a busy season or not, except it does get the media going. And It seems like the years that we have a May storm, it's like, oh, my God, it's like breaking news and gets everybody amped up. And then we had this lull in June and July, and everybody thinks it's a dead season. Then all of a sudden, boom, August, September rolls around. Ian, 22, we had a 60-day break from July and August, and everybody was like, oh, the season's dead, it's over, and then bam. So, we have these highs and lows in hurricane season. There's lulls sometimes. We do all these expos early season. But then when it comes down to it, when we need to worry, it's like people forget. It's like learning Spanish for me in school. Unless you use it, you lose it. And I think our peak season, Florida especially, is late season, September, October. And I always say we're in hurricane hangover by then. Everybody's done talking about it, and that's really when things amp up.
So, Mike, I want to talk to you about you personally because I see, I follow you on social media, and I see that randomly you'll be in like conventions in the Midwest and like all around.
Yeah, it's cool.
Doing weather conventions. Like, tell us about what's a typical weather convention like.
Well, the last one I was in Kansas City, and it was funny because everybody's like, "What the hell?" Kansas City and hurricanes, but it was actually a lineman convention. That was where they picked. So linemen are a big part of weather, and they come in from all around the country whenever there's a natural disaster. But what I do a lot of times, I got a really long hurricane presentation. Basically, it's talking about storm impacts, a little bit of hurricane trivia and tidbits, comparing last year's storms, talk about inland effects, just kind of an overall speech on hurricanes, and maybe open up some eyes to different topics some folks might maybe not thought about. So, we do a lot of these little expos around a lot of my cities over here, and I'm pretty wiped out. I think I've done 10 or 12, and I feel like I'm on the downhill now, and I can just sit in my little chair now for the season.
Is there a lot of partying at those conventions? Like, do the weathermen go nuts? Are they like at the pool and they're like, it's tiki party crazy? And then you got guys out there, like famous guys, like cantors out there doing a backflip into the pool. Like, you got all these different like weather people getting hammered and doing
the
shots.
Weather girls are
weather Show me your high pressure system, baby. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, well, what happens, after hours. But
exactly. Hey,
some of these conventions are pretty high up there with these companies that sponsor open bar after.
Yeah.
I was just at the Governor's Hurricane Conference down at West Palm Beach, and Tiger Dam. Those flood barriers that you probably saw.
Yeah.
That they put up. Yeah, he's a big sponsor, and he had an open food and bar at Ruth Crisp.
Oh my God.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean. And he hires these models.
Oh, you got money. When you're saving people from desperation, you got money.
You got that damn money.
Barriers. Have you seen those barriers?
What I'm saying, the after hours is pretty good.
Yeah.
When somebody else is buying, it's even better.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know what you should do to freak people out? Just and I'll send it to you. Just wear a French red beret, and when you walk in, and look fancy, and don't say a word to anybody. Just see if they pick up on it.
Well. Yeah, it's crazy, these functions, and
But you're like a celebrity now. You're like a celebrity now, right? When you go to these places.
Know about that. I mean,
you are though. These other guys are talking heads. They don't know what they're doing. You're a personality. People care about you.
So, Mike, okay, to continue talking about you personally, I want to ask you about just being a social media influencer. Because since we first started talking to you 5 years ago, I don't know when it was, but I remember when you had 1.3 million followers, and now you have 1 million more, right?
That's kind of why I mentioned the beret.
Yeah. So in 5 years, you've grown, or whatever. I'm sure you know better, but you've grown by 1 million followers. Your channel continues to grow, and now you have 2.3 million followers on Facebook.
It'd be awesome if you got his followers wrong, like Pierce Morgan did to Kanye, and he walked off our show. Mike, you should walk off our show if he gets it wrong, just like Kanye West.
100,000.
Yeah, you're off.
Oh, sorry.
And then tell Tom he doesn't respect you, and then spit in the camera and walk off.
Oh man, it's crazy. I mean, I think the most rewarding part of the last couple of years has been the younger crowd.
Nice.
Instagram, TikTok, especially. That's my second highest right now. I'm got like 700,000 on TikTok, and the kids, the college kids, the enthusiasm from the younger generation that I never really experienced with Facebook before, because that's a little older crowd. We admit it. So that's really been a huge positive for me, is seeing the younger generation, kids, in love with weather, and that they follow. And it reminds me, they cling to every word, and sometimes I'm like, I got to remember everybody's listening here, not just adults that go to ABC.
But they count the most. You drunks out there, you guys, shout out to you guys.
So Mike, that's what I want to talk to you about, because from our interactions throughout the years, Mike is about a normal Florida dad as you can get. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good Florida, weather-loving, RC car racing dad that we care about.
As even
he likes some NASCAR.
Just regular person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I say regular. I'm just saying, like, because a lot of people...
Boat in the water, Joe.
Yeah, a lot of people on social media, like, they may have some media background or want to be an entertainer and things like that. And you're not like that, Mike. And I'm curious, with so many followers, and like you said, now with TikTok, that's a whole different animal as far as social media goes. How do you navigate? Because I noticed, like, even some of the posts, you got nicknamed Mike the Hype, and you were making kind of fun of it. But I'm sure you get attacked all the time. You just with such a huge following, you have
comes
to
a swath of negativity.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's really weird. Like, you would think there'd be a lot of negative interactions, but I can't even count maybe one or two. I can't even think of one time that somebody in person was negative.
Right. That doesn't happen.
Most folks that follow are like our type. You know, they follow the softball, the dogs. You know, the other day Julie was somewhere with Sarah, and they recognized Sarah. I wasn't even there. They're like, "Hey, you're Mike's."
Oh,
so
that's
even
cool.
Family,
that's great.
Yeah. So it's been amazing. I will say, it doesn't bother me ever. I love it. People are very respectful. It's scary to me, very scary how people can just recognize me like instantly, like out of state, without a shirt, without any, gear on, just like Mike. So
what are you doing out of state without your shirt on? I mean, just out of curiosity, why are you naked out of the state? You're a married dad. We just blew you off talking about you're the greatest dad, and you're telling stories. I was naked out of state.
No, without his weather page.
I'm messing around.
Well, the only social media I'm not on is OnlyFans, so I've been working on that.
Hey, you can get on there and just do.
You'll make some money, Mike.
Yeah, you don't need to do anything spicy. Amanda Bynes is on there now, and she's not. She's just like, hey, I'm over at the mall.
Well, that's regular social media.
Yeah, well,
you got to do a little spicy.
No, they don't do any spicy.
Like, Mike could wear some extra short shorts, sandals.
You could wear some short shorts, or maybe just hang the belly out a little bit. That's what I do.
Well, when it's the 70s, I can dress for the 70s and have my 70s gear.
Yeah, like a big afro wig or something. That'd be fun.
So.
But yeah, it's been. It hasn't been as hard as you would think, honestly. I really enjoy, every social platform is a little different. I have found, each one needs a little bit something, maybe a little different, what they like versus other, So I try to mix it up and just, think about that when I'm on X versus Instagram.
Yeah, Tom's huge on Rumble. Tom is massive on Rumble.
I'm trying to get it popular.
Yeah. He's been, and he's got some weird thing where he's got some lady that vomits in a blender and on camera. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Rumble's a weird.
Out there.
Rumble is a spot.
So
I think the hardest thing for me is posting on all. Like, I got a routine of 5 things I post on, and art. I couldn't imagine. There's Blue Sky, there's Rumble, there's whatever, there's Threads. Whatever happened to Threads?
Yeah, I'm still on Threads. I connect my Threads to my Truth Social, though. It's just easier that way. It's just easier.
So, Mike, this is where my business plan comes in, and
that's why I was making a lot of bad jokes. Take the heat off.
And because in speaking, this kind of goes along with Mike the Hype, is somehow people online, and you're totally right, by the way, it's all online because it's easy to make a comment, and there's people that are like, like they like trolling specifically as their hobby.
It's become a hobby. It's crazy.
But so somehow, like, people can politicize weather, which is weird. Like, if you just say the truth of, like, here's the broadcast at a computer, and then people are like, and they attack you because you're. But see, and you're like, I'm just reporting how I interpret the facts, and this is, the science behind it. But because everybody politicizes everything, you need. Me and Daniel would like to pitch to you, and I just drug Daniel along with this.
He always just drags me along for his ideas.
Under the Mike's Weather Page umbrella, so you don't have to be involved with this.
It's Spaghetti Models Premium.
Yeah. But we have a political weather. I'll take the right, Daniel will take the left.
Well, wait a minute. I look more right.
And then all we do is broadcast the weather that you want to hear.
But you look liberal. No, we got to switch. I look
okay,
right.
listen,
Or
it's all
we
about
can-
the money
or
to
we
me. I
can
don't care.
switch every week.
Yeah, no. You're right. But Daniel could take the right and then just broadcast about how the polar ice caps are more ice than ever
No,
before.
no. I want liberal. It's easier to talk about. No. I take that away.
Well, you have to go all scary then.
Yeah, all scary.
Hot, everything. All goes. Everything's more ice than ever. Anyway,
That
I'm
sounds
telling
like
you,
a
Mike.
lie. Yours sounds like a lie. The liberal side's way easier. I'm just like, go outside. All right, you know what's happening.
The number one comment anymore, and I stay out of it, are vapor trails, chemtrails, weather manipulation. I just stay out of it. I'm like, woof.
You have to.
Way beyond my pay grade, but there's a lot of folks out there to believe it.
You have
and
to.
I respect everybody's thoughts and opinions. I'm like, I'm not one to tell you you're wrong.
Well, that's a hobby now too. Like making everything political is all. It's might as well be the adjacent to trolling. It's a hobby as well.
Mike, that's fine. You can respect it. I personally do not respect it because how can a tiny bit of chemtrail affect? Do you understand? People don't understand how big the globe is, and like a weather system. They're like, oh yeah, couple planes farting out some gas can affect that entire.
Let me ask you a question.
I mean,
what if
you
it makes
understand the scope of it?
What if it makes you feel better to think that your life is failing because some plane farts? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but do you understand how big the sky is?
Yeah, but think about it. There's relief in plane farts. You know, like you believe in that. You're like, well, this is why I'm not a success. Planes are farting me up.
It's also deep. You go high, and the atmosphere is deep. Anyway.
Yeah. As long as they don't mess with my Starlink signal, that's all I care about.
Yeah. How is your Starlink treating you? Still good?
Oh, it's great. Hey, it's good. There's no IP blocking like for certain websites.
Oh, nice. So you could get porn. Because, we can't get that anymore.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm just
I know you didn't say that. I said
I figured one of you would pick up on that like right away.
Yeah, this guy.
Hold on. I'm writing this down.
Tom wrote Starlink down.
Starlink?
Yeah.
I only got 2 sites now, Mike. I've seen all the videos. It's rolled out.
Got 2 sites. They both start with X.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what's on this. Oh, God. Anyway, so Mike, last question. Do you think we're going to see, obviously you have no idea, but are we going to see the similar weather pattern we've seen in the past couple years where storms have been coming up on the West Coast through the Gulf and affecting the West Coast of Florida?
I just see this whole high pressure pattern that we saw last year, and the Gulf is very warm. Those are things we need to worry about, is this rapid intensification we've seen since pretty much 16 with Matthew. It seems like every year we've seen a storm get close to us. Now, whether, they go up to the Panhandle or they go to Louisiana, but that pattern's there. Milton came across from Mexico last year and crossed into the Gulf. So
crossed into what did it cross into?
The Gulf.
The Gulf.
Period.
The Gulf of what?
Man, this is a test.
I'm a neutral guy.
I'm sorry.
Well, my weather is good. You know what it is.
You know what Tom's going to say.
Thomas Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to say. My whole broadcast is going to be in Spanish. My whole broadcast is in Espanol.
So there's another one. So, man, if you're looking for likes or clicks, all you got to do is bring that up, and it's like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. You can't even talk about the weather. Like, hold on.
Yesterday, I brought up the water temps, and that turned I'm like, guy, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you.
And the water temperatures are just science. It's just a thermometer. There's no
God,
they're arguing, that it's shallow there, and why am I posting shallow water? I'm like, well, it's still the Gulf. I mean, it's still water.
Okay.
Mike,
moving on.
I never thought about that, but for 100%, I'm sure you have. But I'm thinking, if I was Mike, I'm like, all right, there's going to be a time where I'm going to post a hurricane track, and then in the background, in the hurricane track, they have Gulf of whatever,
Gulf of whatever they choose.
Google's America, but it's I think a lot of the hurricane system will say Gulf of Mexico, old school.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, they say old school, but we know liberal.
But just having that in the background of the hurricane site map would cause
that's why he says Gulf, which is brilliant. Yeah,
so
why not?
Do you just Photoshop that out? Because I would. I would be like, I don't want the argument.
Yeah.
Totally. No, there's some old maps that haven't updated yet, and I'm like, oh.
I know.
I don't even, it bothers some
It's a distraction.
so much. I don't even want to, like.
Yeah, you don't even want to put it on there.
Yeah.
Which
I don't
is
blame
insane.
you. I don't blame you at all. You're like, why
Someone
don't
get all mad. Stupid Gulf of America.
One thing socials taught me, and probably you all too, is you really got to think what you say. I mean, to the point of everything you say can be twisted 180 the other direction. You didn't even mean for it, and that's the messaging, I guess, that I've evolved, is trying to, stay away from adjectives, try to, no agenda, just kind of present things in my own little way and without trying to steer you one direction or the other, and then using my experiences along the way. One thing storm chasing's taught me was showing what surge is like, inland effects. So when I say, you bring an axe into your attic, now the National Hurricane Center has that on their official surge maps, like put an axe in your attic. So, those are real life unfortunate.
I thought that was just something you yelled at someone you hate. I'll put an axe in your attic.
That's in your attic afterwards. You might need them because looting happens the day after. So you can use your axe in more ways than one.
I've never thought about that. I'm going up today and putting an axe in my attic.
Yeah, I would bet that 50% of the people would not be able to axe their way out of the inside of their attic.
No,
just
2 weeks.
Just because,
2 weeks. You use the axe to cut your own throat when you're in the attic.
Okay, yeah. But just put a gun up there, one bullet.
Like a shotgun.
I'm just going to drill a hole in mine and have it ready to go for the season and put it back in November.
Yeah, me too. I'm just going to set my house on fire and get up there naked and yell for a helicopter or something.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for coming on our show.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
We're getting crazier every time. We're testing the limits.
I think we've learned in Florida, like you guys talking hurricanes a few years ago, probably didn't make sense because you think of hurricanes as a coastal event. But we've seen more inland effects in the last few years with tornadoes and flooding and, different scenarios like that. So everybody needs to pay attention to Hurricane Center, or hurricane season, just not the ones living on the coast,
For sure. No, 100%. Sure. Well, Mike, and again, Mike's weather page, spaghettymodels.com.
Yep, go there, subscribe, check it out. It's your one-stop shop for all things hurricane-related in Central Florida and beyond.
And we'll check in with you again soon, Mike.
Yeah, anytime. And OnlyFans.
Yeah. And OnlyFans, exactly. We'll get it going.
See you,
buddy. Take care. That is Mike from Mike's weather page.
It's funny when you have that many followers, it's just, and you're doing a topic like weather.
Yeah.
Then talk about a spectrum of an audience that's following you. Like everybody relies or is curious about what the weather is going to be like.
Tens of thousands actively interacting with him daily when he does the Daily Brew. So he'll be doing the Daily Brew. The comments, we get a ton of comments on ours. We don't even have a ton of people watching us. They're just very active, right?
Yeah.
But on his, it's wild.
No, I know. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah. That's a whole, different level of humanity, that you have to deal with. And it is interesting that, Mike is just a normal dude, and he has to navigate this weird social media influencer world and the internet.
Well, I think everybody thinks he's gonna in some way create a Mike's weather page, like a corporate, it's like I think everybody that has known him for, let's say, 10 years.
Yeah.
Effectively, has always thought he's going to jump to this new
this
thing,
corporate level.
And it's just
he doesn't want to do that.
He's just sturdy as a rock, or steady as a rock. The guy is he just likes doing it for himself.
Yeah, and
which is cool,
and that's interesting. It's funny too because
which also makes me think it's more of an accurate.
Yeah, it's more legitimate
because he's not doing it for any reason. Other than he just likes it.
No, and it's funny because in the entertainment world, right? It's always been where if you're an entertainer, then you're striving to entertain the most amount of people and turn it into the most success possible, right?
Sure.
So back in the day, the stereotypical entertainer are like, all right, I want to be the best entertainer. That means A-list movie star, right? And then once you're an A-list movie star, you're in giant movies around the world, and that was the pinnacle, right? So we're all used to that trajectory of people trying to, if you're a comic, you want to get to Eddie Murphy's status. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to the highest level of entertainment.
Yeah.
But social media now, it's like Mike likes like this is his passion, the weather and stuff.
He's got a good lane,
and he likes building his audience, I'm sure. And but he's not in it to become the biggest social media. He's not Mr. Beasting it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like where
that sounds very sexual. By the way, I was Mr. Beasting it last night.
Well, Mr. Beast was in it to become the biggest social media influencer in the world and biggest YouTuber, and and he's driven by success. And Mike he's driven by continuing to
I think he
report
wants to
the
do
weather and
good forecasts. Like I think when he
and then
says, "Guys,
storm
this
chase,"
is
he likes
what
to storm
I think,"
chase,
and then it happens. He's kind of like there's a vindication there, and he's like, "Okay, I used my knowledge and my science, and I connected the dots, and my hunch was right." And he gets a lot of them right. I don't think he hypes at all. I don't even know why he would have that. That's just trolls, because there's no way he hypes. If anybody hypes, and you were kind of touching on it when you were talking about actors trying to be the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
What's funny is a lot of weather people, lower level weather people, and they could still be meteorologists. Some of those people are actors, which they're good looking people, and they knew that like being on the news would be a path of being on TV or maybe wiggle their way through. We've known people. Eric Weber, I think, was one of those guys that wanted to be an actor, but he ended up being a great newscaster or a weather person.
Yeah.
And so, but then you're not going to get the true forecast because that person didn't want to be a weather person. He is a weather person.
Yeah.
He's just, and he's good at it, I guess, but
he's good at presenting the weather.
It's not his passion. Like Mike's really into it.
Yeah. And then of course Mike's built a channel. He's got, advertisers and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's,
shout out to Furman. It's the generators, right? And his guys.
Yeah. He's got but it's not about like, turning it into a corporation, which you would think you're like, oh, you're turn this into a huge empire and it get bigger and like have a ton of employees and offshore. It's like no. It's like he doesn't want to do that.
It is interesting,
and that's what you would think that everybody would want to do, but it's not that. That's not the case. And in the social media world, and you could even you couldn't even put him in the entertainer category really, because it's like. He's not necessarily in it to entertain.
No, his origin is not of that. Now, he may be entertaining. That's different. I watch a lot of stuff that's entertaining, but I don't necessarily think the origin of it was to entertain.
Yeah.
Because I'm weird.
Yeah. But I feel like even for us, like you get into radio, your whole purpose is entertain.
Yeah, we present in a more crazy or I'm even making jokes in our weather segment because I realize that's
our purpose.
I think that is right.
Yeah,
I look at what I'm supposed to do on the show, and I think, well, man, you better make some jokes today because people need to laugh a little bit. So give it a go, Danny.
Yeah, no, I don't think we can offer anything.
No. I was waiting for you to suggest something, and I noticed that you were not.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what else I have to offer.
I can go on Mike's weather page and just steal his weather.
Yeah,
I'll
we
present
can start
it to you.
stealing weather.
Yeah, but what's funny too is for him, he's like, and I see on when he makes a post about like, hey, this. Because they have these, the ability to look at the water temperatures. Like there's buoys that are floating that do digital, real-time water temperatures.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then that's on a website on like spaghetti models, right? Sure. And then
there's so much on that website, guys. If you've never been, it's it'll overwhelm you.
And then he'll present like, oh, this buoy's, it says it's 92.8 degrees here in Key West, right? And then he's reporting that like here's an interesting thing. And then people will be like, oh, why you're hyping it up, you're scaring people with the water temperature. That's how they're mad at him for presenting that.
Not his buoy.
Yeah. No. But then it's like, well, what does he present when there's no, it's like he's looking, that's his job. And that's what he's doing.
I guess at some point, the people that do politicize the weather would probably say, well, just don't talk about it.
Only
Aren't they
talk
doing
about
a little bit of that. Don't talk about it.
Now, if he would have presented my
because
Facebook,
when you present that, you're not saying that it's 92 and this is a great thing for the Gulf of America or Mexico. We're
not say nothing.
You know what I mean? Like the Gulf.
Yeah.
You're saying you're not like there. Even if you just said it's 92 degrees with no inflection whatsoever, everyone knows by hearing that that's not a good thing for our oceans to be at. We know that's uncharacteristically high.
Yeah. Is it like, hey, but then there's like, well, why? Okay, well, everyone knows it's high. Don't say,
Yeah,
don't
like
talk
that.
about it.
I know I have a mole on my face. Why are you, right? Like, why are you telling me? I know I have a big nose.
But then
I know I'm fat.
And then if you're like, hey, Antarctica grew 1 billion pounds of ice. Have you seen that story? Floating around? I don't even know it's true. It just,
that's great. We're growing ice now? Awesome.
And then
We're
I'm like,
saved. We're
why
saved.
is Facebook presenting this to me? It must know. but then I'm
That's
like,
weird.
so then so if you're like, okay, well, if you presented that, like, hey, look at this fact, people would be like, oh, no, that doesn't mean, people get angry.
Right, yeah.
And then it's like, and then honestly, it's just like, what does it mean? What does it even mean?
Yeah, I'm just telling you what I read.
They're like, don't even tell me. Because then that makes me mad in one way or the other. And it's like, God damn.
So at some point, with both sides, it just becomes a don't talk about it. Then you can't. But if you politicize everything, then you can't talk about nothing.
Yeah. But they like it.
They do like it. It's an addiction. Yeah,
because then it spikes. They're like, oh, mad, happy. Mad.
The chemicals in my brain are so dysfunctional that I need to argue to get spikes of joy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Scared, mad. It's all something, right?
Yeah.
Do THC.
A lot of people are like, fight, masturbate, drink. It's all right. You just want the peaks.
Yeah,
give me the peaks.
Yeah.
Fight, masturbate, scream.
Yeah. You want your brain chemicals.
Yeah. But you want them all the highest high. Extreme anger, depression. Up down. I want extreme up down. That's what I want. I want extreme up down.
It does look like a more fun way to live.
I think it wears you out.
Keel.
I'm kind of doing a very, very internal version of it, and it's not. There's no way to live.
Yeah. Well, you live fast.
You live fast, you die hard.
Yeah.
I have the body of a 71-year-old man.
I know.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. In saying that, will you push me across the street in my wheelchair? I am hungry. You want to do a couple voicemails before we get out of here?
Yeah.
I need voicemails, and I love. You guys have been leaving some of the best voicemail messages that I think I've gotten in like 20 years of doing this. So let's go with a couple of these. Two ways to do it. 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's our little vanity number. You can call. You can leave us a voicemail message that way. Or you can get our Mediocre app. Mediocre Messages is a little button on there you can press. You can talk into your phone. You can send us photos. You can send us videos. Here we go.
Hey, I just wanted to applaud Dan on his recent transition. You've seen the light. You made the choice to become a stander. We, the standers, we accept you. We appreciate your ability to use critical thinking and make this awesome life choice. As a representative of the Southern Nevada Standers, I just want to let you know we're so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what this journey leads you down. So proud.
Well, thank you very much. I am a standard now because I have completely reconfigured the biology in my body. Like, my bones are so, everything's all different now. So I have to stand to wipe because the sitting position is just not, I can do it, but it just doesn't feel as good. And I kind of I became accustomed to standing like a soldier, like you do.
No, it's not like a soldier.
I stand straight like a tomb of the unknown soldier.
No, it's like
and then you do a good cheek squish, and then you gently bend a little, and then you get to clean it.
No. Now, I'm not as accepting as this gentleman. So if you want to come into my chapter.
Are you going to make me wear a probate jacket and ride on the back of your motorcycle like some bitch? I'm not riding on the back of your motorcycle like some probate standing bitch. I'm not doing that.
No, you got to do some...
What do I got to give you, HJ?
Yeah, no, like some frat boy initiations.
Okay. I will hold a grape between my bee cheeks, and I'll run down the beach, and if I drop it, I'll eat it.
Yeah. And then you got to do the move where, you tie a cinder block, you stand the old school, You stand
I
on
don't know about this one.
Yeah, you tie a rope to a cinder block, and the other end, you know what?
Your ding dong?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this one. You could hurt yourself.
No, well, then you throw it off the second story, and you have to stand there. But the whole
it's
joke,
not tied.
No. The rope is longer. It'll hit the ground with still slack on it.
Oh, I've seen those. Then it gets hung on something, and next thing you know, the guy's in the emergency room.
It goes through the manhole and the clump kid. Anyway, it would not pull him. It would just rip his genitals off.
Yeah. We know a guy that, and I want to dox him so bad, but you've been telling me not to do that anymore. No more first names on the show.
I'm fine with it now.
Okay, Whopper Jr., Justin Clark of Cigar City Brewery. He's the COO. Let's do one more. Let's go with this one right here.
So I've been watching this Diddy trial, and I'm thinking about the idea of, like, you live the first 40 years of your life totally balling out, money, women, you're on TV dancing on yachts, and and then they get you and you got to live the rest of your life in jail. But you also have money, so that jail time is probably not going to be all that terrible. So is there a ratio that you guys would expect, that you would accept, like, maybe 50 years free and 10 in jail? Or for me, I think I'd take 40-20, and I would enjoy that 40 balling out, dancing with my shiny pants on. What about you guys?
I think it's an excellent question. The more I read of the trial, the less I can read of the trial, if that makes sense. How much jail time would you do at the end of your life to just have unlimited Diddy money, or would you just not do it?
I'd want to do it early. And then jail first.
You can't do
enjoy
jail
life after.
That's not the bit.
No, because the problem is...
No, the bit is impending doom.
The problem... Okay, and
so you have to choose.
We've talked about this before. If me and you have something to do at like 7 p.m. on a Saturday, right?
I can't do it. I can't enjoy my Saturday.
Your whole day is ruined, because you're just...
When we have events, like on a Saturday afternoon, when we do our BDM events, the whole Saturday, the girls will be like, hey, you want to go to the strawberry patch? And I can't. I'm like, I can't. I have to stay here.
I just look at the clock.
Just look at the clock until I go. Yeah.
But it's
a sickness.
Knowing you have to do something later on, always it's worse. Or like you get it over with. Then you have the gig in the morning and the rest of your day off. So it's like you want to do, if you got a 10-year jail sentence for unlimited money, you want to do that jail sentence right now and then get out unlimited money, not unlimited money and then the last 10 years jail, because the whole time you're like, oh, God.
But he's asking this question. You're going to have to do impending doom.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do it.
So you would what, off yourself or?
No, well, if you would take the deal.
Oh, so you would just choose not to do it. I'll just be normal Joe.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because Now,
what if you had to? What if you had to do it?
No, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Do I have a choice of what?
How many years would you go? Would you go for a long? I would say go for a long time. At least then you'd get to spend time with your boys. And by the time you're going to jail, you're done. Your hands off. Hopefully they have families. You see what I'm saying? Like Diddy's kids are older.
Yeah,
he got to spend some time with her. Probably didn't. I don't know what kind of father he is, but he doesn't look like.
I don't think he'll get life in prison either. There's murderers that don't get life. So probably Diddy's not that old. He'll probably get out of jail before he'll do life. But I don't even know. I'm not even following it. But
no, I'm not either. Every once in a while, I'll read a little bit about it, but I haven't. Not much.
But I did see the Dave Chappelle. I forgot what special it was, or if it was the opening to some sort of award ceremony. But he was in a suit. But he was talking about Diddy's trial, and he was making sure he's like this guy is in a lot of trouble. It's a remarkable amount of trouble, and it's true. It's like we're
not even scratching the surface on this.
And just from it totally, even if he doesn't get, I don't even whatever the end. If it goes,
it almost seems like it's going to be going on never ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even if it goes as good as it could for Diddy, right? His entire career is ruined. No one wants to ever do business or and his everything is done.
It's the end.
Yeah. And I'm sure with so much money, people think that these people don't have offshore money and like other, they're like, now he's going to be broke.
Has money for them, or
like this guy has been unloading stuff, and I know they try to freeze asset in the government, the FBI gets involved, but for even way before when his lawyers are like, they're coming to get you, before it even hit the media, like you started dumping money into.
How come we're not getting any photos of him like we did with Cosby? We're getting those weird drawings where they draw him like Black Snake Moan, and then he's doing the heart emojis with his hands. Yeah. And I'm like, I want some photos of him, man, so I can make fun of him.
I don't know what even state is it in? Is it in California or
I don't even know.
Yeah, because
I'm not following it.
They all have different media rules. Like every state has a different thing, where like media is allowed in the courtroom or not. So I have no idea, but it must be something like that because for sure.
Oh, the judge said no cameras. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, because I was like, this would be a super highly televised court case.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, if this was there's a reason.
I was kind of wondering if we're going to get to... Is it on... It's not televised at all.
No, yeah. The judge
and we're not even getting little pieces of it, like not even little snippets.
On social media, they will... report on what day to day. There's social media reporters day to day talking about it.
It's in NYC chat rooms saying.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
They must... I'm sure the judge this would be an insane media circus.
Just lock this thing down. Yeah, it's a smart thing to do. We will be right back.
Welcome to Corporate Tom with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Come join us if throughout your day, if you're working in an office somewhere or if you're out and about and you want to watch a podcast, we are live from right around 10 until 3 p.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can search us on Twitch and YouTube at Tom and Dan Live.
The Orlando Science Center also has a brand new exhibit that just debuted this past weekend, and it's about superheroes.
Yeah, man.
And so if you're looking for a great place to take your kids, get out of the heat, just chill out while the kids roam the Science Center, go to osc.org. Just become a member. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, you find out about stuff first. You save money on all the exhibits and the special stuff that they have.
Yep, and speaking of special, Science Night Live is May 31st, and you can get your tickets, and that's your opportunity as an adult to roam the Science Center at night.
Yep.
Have some drinks, some food.
It is cool to have a beer in the Science Center. I'll just say it. Just call it what it is.
And it's about DC Comics, that Science Night Live. So if you're into DC Comics, check it out at osc.org.
Old Detective Comics. All right.
So we got Weird Job.
Yeah, it's Weird Job. Yeah, I got a new song, and I know this particular person's occupation, at least I believe. You gave me a bit of a heads up. And I wrote, it's the original Weird Job Wednesday song, but it is done by a really sad old piano man. It's one of my favorite ones we've done. This one's weird. Real singer-songwriter old man.
Tom wanted to do a bit.
I like how slow it is. Oh, it's going to drive you crazy.
He called it Weird Job Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Dan really liked it. Tom said that's bullshit. Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Like my grandpa.
What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money? And you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people that are working by the hour. Weird Job Wednesday.
Oh, come back to me, Grandpa.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh, yes, it's
the chat room saying very John Prine. Yeah.
Job Wednesday.
It is very John Prine.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
So pretty.
Thank you, Tom.
The thank you, Tom, really got me. You got to wait for the thank you, Tom. It's really good, man.
All right, on the line with us, speaking of pianos, from the strollingpiano.com, we've got Tim on the line. How you doing, Tim?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
So, Tim, describe to us what the strolling piano is.
Well, we have created a upright piano facade type thing. Everything's built into it. Sound system, keyboard. There's a TV on the front for information or advertising, all that kind of stuff. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a strolling piano. It moves throughout the crowds, throughout an event. We have one that is out at Disney Springs. A lot of people here locally have probably seen us out there. We've been out there for almost 10 years now. And so, it's a strange thing, and it's harder to explain even now, 10 years later, than it was 10 years ago. But hopefully enough people have seen it, they got to understand what it is.
So think about like a upright piano that's on wheels that drives around your event as a piano player is playing, and speakers. It's got speakers on it, TV.
This is great.
And so now with a typical event, like even the when you're out at Disney Springs. So how far do you travel? Is it just in one small area? Do you go throughout the whole Disney Springs?
We've pretty much been all over Disney Springs at some point of our run there. It has changed over the years based on their need. That's kind of the beauty of what our product is that it can, you can just wake up one day and decide that you want us over here instead of over there, and it's no big deal. But currently we do cover a lot of ground. We kind of hang out as like the welcome committee at Disney Springs. So a lot of times you'll see us, and like if you're just coming down from like the Lime Garage, or the Orange Garage, or maybe the Bus Meets, those are kind of like the areas that we're focusing on. So we kind of just like go back and forth between all those places and welcome everybody, and all the information for the other entertainment throughout the Springs is on our screen in the front there, so everyone can kind of take inventory of what's going to go on later in the day.
It's cool, and I kind of feel like you're like, I don't know, that's kind of a big, like being the information kiosk, for lack of a better term, of all the other entertainment, to me makes you like top dog. Plus, you drive around. You're not just like some, the Lumberjack show, or like, this is cool, man. Have you ever raced two pianos against each other?
I mean, not like an official, like, sanctioned race, let's not say, but we have done like a dueling strolling pianos that actually did that at a couple of our pairs over the years have done, they're not necessarily racing, but we'll try to, coordinate their movements and kind of have it look like a little bit of a dance.
That's awesome.
While kind of playing together.
Oh, I love that.
So, Tim, you're actually the one that's playing the piano, correct?
No, I'm actually just one of the creators, inventors. My partner and I here locally in Orlando just came up with this idea and this concept kind of by mistake. About 10 years ago, we were taking all the guts out of an actual upright piano. We were turning it into a piano shell. And once we got into it, it just kind of like had this light bulb moment of like how much space was really in this thing and how we could be installing speakers, and just kind of one thing led to another, and ended up creating this product. So I actually don't play piano at all. I'm just neither does my partner. We're both musicians. That's how we know each other. But we just created it and built them. Now we don't actually play piano ourselves.
Now the curious thing that I have is that like this is one of those ideas that like I'm on your website right now, and people can like obviously Google it and check it out, and obviously go out to Disney Springs and check it out, I guess, when you guys are playing. But like is it one of those things where as soon as you made it, you knew you had a good idea, and were you concerned that immediately there are going to be other people that wanted to try and create something extremely similar and bite the idea?
Yeah, and we have that has been a concern, and we have experienced some of that. Not too much of it, fortunately, and really as upsetting as it can be, and as much bent out of shape as we can get about it. My partner and I really have both just tried to focus on just being a better product. Every time we see something like that, it's only happened a couple times, but we just really try to, really focus our energy on what we can do to make what we have better, and make it just like a no-brainer for anyone where there's no competition. And it's been a good model for us so far. Those other
copycats have kind of fizzled out. We haven't heard from them for a while, and it really hasn't affected what we're doing,
Well, Tim, I already just bought flyingpiano.com.
There's going to be a lot of problems, but we're going to do it.
It's a powered paraglider. You're a stand-up upright piano.
You can't hear a damn thing we're playing. It's so loud. Oh, my God, it's loud.
And you have a paraglider, and they're swooping down the Dizzy Springs.
You've never lived. You've been swooped. I will swoop you to Adele's Hello. Hello.
I feel like anytime a piano is put into motion in any way, shape, or form on the internet, which is undefeated, someone finds a way to send it to me. So I feel like I've kind of seen it all, and maybe now that we're talking about that, there'll be some kind of AI-generated thing that'll happen.
Has anyone done a boat version called a Ciano?
No, but that is something we had talked about.
Really? Now that I say it, it's something you've talked about. Of course.
No, we kind of thought about how easy it would just be to throw it on a pontoon boat and just kind of secure it down and do some. Just you go on the lake or whatever, because we pop into our staff neighborhoods and stuff like that for Christmas caroling and different things like that, just to have fun. You know what I mean?
Have you ever had an accident with the piano? Can you describe is one person actually playing and one person driving? Is it a two-man setup?
That's the industry secret.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we don't. The whole process of what we do and how we do it has changed over the years too. We're probably on version 10.0, so kind of spare you the progression of all through it. But we do have we call it a handler that'll kind of take care of the sound. I mean, that's another thing a lot of people don't realize is that basically an entire little mini PA system is built in to this thing, and it presents its own challenges just from an audio standpoint. If you have an audio background at all, that just cupping a microphone or having speakers in a really closed off area or really close to everything is really just a hard thing to control. So it's more of just like a handler, a person, stage manager, sound guy, kind of jack of all trades hat wearing person.
Now, the piano players that you hire, are they specific? Are they kind of, because we know a lot of dueling piano guys, some of our listeners of ours.
Yeah.
Is it those guys, dueling piano guys that you hire, or do you have your own?
We've been so fortunate to have an incredible lineup, especially here locally, but we've also really grown it around the country as well. But my wife is our original strolling pianist, if you will.
Cool.
Just as my partner and I were developing and putting this all together, she was, quite literally the test subject, several times, and so we kind of grown from there with just word of mouth and people within our community. Since, like I said, we are all musicians. My partner and I just don't play piano. And, now we have, the lineup that we have out there at Disney Springs is just one that I could not be more proud of. We do have some dueling piano guys there and women that have that in their background, but it's kind of being on the strolling piano is a little bit of a hybrid of a dueling piano and a soloist kind of thing, because you're still, the piano itself has its own personality. You're really close to people and interacting with them in a different way. So it's kind of this hybrid thing that they've all really found their own way of figuring out.
How many pianos, if you can say, how many pianos do you have in the fleet? Do you have a bunch, or do you have any new?
Yeah, so we currently are running 7 pianos. And one stays here, lives at Disney Springs, and for our daily operations there. And then the rest of them pretty much go out over the summer for state and county fairs. It's a huge part of our business, so we kind of turn into carnies for a 3 or 4 month period, and it's fun, man. It's a good time. I've been out to a handful of them myself, and so yeah, that just becomes a numbers game of how many we're willing to manufacture and put out there, and at what point it's profitable or not,
How many different events do you guys do? Do you guys ever do a private birthday party or other
drive up and down my driveway?
we do it all the way down to that. Yeah, it really is. We get hired by anybody. I'm literally driving home from Atlanta, Georgia right now. We did of all things, a robotics convention.
Cool.
At the World Congress Center over there. So it was just big trade show with a bunch of people and showing off their new robotics stuff and everything. So and believe it or not, they were blown away by what we had there. And
that's cool.
We're having the darndest time trying to figure out how we were doing it and what we were doing. So it was that was kind of a fun moment for us on that, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have future plans on making one that can go off-road or putting some tank treads on there? You know, like you could do.
We've talked about like more, you know, like you got to consider too that there's a person on there who's, you know, singing and singing and playing an instrument. So you know, there's only so much of that they're probably really able to handle. So we, you know, right now we're good with mainly smooth surfaces. I mean, we can do some cobblestones and some things like that, but you know, we've been asked to do that for like rodeos or for different things, and there's also just so many factors of, you know, like get all the dust and all the things electronics that you're
play some ragtime.
Drive over these rocks and play Sweet Home Alabama.
You know what I also think would be cool, and it's very popular right now, and you may know what I'm talking about, but I know the kids will. You need to get Tom Van, my Tom, to do a la Benson Boone style flip off of the piano before he sings. You know, Benson Boone, he's always doing the flip before he sings.
That would be something.
That'd be amazing.
That reminds me, we were doing a trade show in Las Vegas some years back, and you know, just with a company that was there, kind of, you know, selling for some industry, and there was a contortionist that was there in the booth with us, and she had these little, like, you know, stands that she would, you know, do her handstand on and bend herself all which way, and she ended up hopping on the top of the piano and doing, like, you know, just holding herself up all over the place, and we just had. If I had a picture of the look on this kid's face, the guy that was playing the piano for us could have been like 19 or 20 years old, and he just like turned beet red. You know, he's got this Vegas showgirl just like twisting herself up into every like shape she can right in front of him. You know.
Well, the problem is when they do that move, or they put their legs behind their head,
or like, just you're pushing it out. It's like stop pushing it out.
Pull that move out. Pull that move out. But
you know what I say? I say put a paper towel in the front so I can't see what's happening. Put a brownie in there. Come on. What are we doing here? Good Lord. Put a liner on it.
Yeah, it's hard to sing Piano Man. We're just pushing it out right.
It's 5 o'clock and a whoa daddy.
He does wear a harmonica still, you know, like Billy Joel. So.
It's so hard for me to Monica.
Well, Tim, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And if anybody wants to rent a strolling piano at an event,
I kind of want to rent one.
You could just do it all at thestrollingpiano.com, right?
Yeah, it's all up there, and we're on, you know, Instagram and Facebook and all those things. The Strolling Piano, it also turns into the Strolling DJ. I got a lot of different applications and things that we do with it. So, yeah, you can just reach out to us directly, and we are here locally in Central Florida, but we send pianos and DJ units all around the country, so at any given time, there might be one around the corner, and you don't even realize it.
That's awesome, man. Hey, congrats with the awesome business. It's really, really cool. We're glad you're local, and we appreciate the time.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Tim.
Take care. That is Tim the Piano Man.
So, Bus
I got to build one of these tonight.
Oh, yeah, we just steal him.
He's talking about the mobile DJ or whatever. I'm like, oh, my God, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you and I on 2 hoverboards or microphones, mobile podcast. Has he thought of that? Google that. Melissa, Google mobile podcast boys. What are we going to call ourselves?
Dude, I could put a series of 4 one-wheels.
Yes.
And then I'll surf us into wherever.
And I'm running the controls in the back. I'll be like on a platform, and producing us on the side will be the mobile podcast boys. Nobody's done this. Rent us for your party. We'll drive around and make fun of everybody at your party. Look at your big fat mom. Oh, gross. Look, her arms are gray. Are her arms gray because she's obese? Tom doesn't know why her arms are gray because he doesn't understand biology.
All right, here we go to the next place. The slope.
Real slow.
They're like, this is awkwardly slow.
Real slow.
Your mom's
don't look at us while we're leaving. That's a rule I'll have. We're so slow. Our hoverboards are so slow. The rule is you got to turn your back as we're leaving. You put your cell phone in the pouch, like Dave Chappelle's show.
That is a good idea, though. Like, to have the ability to go around to different places.
But I can't understand how, not to play you in this argument, I can't understand how people aren't stealing it. Like, I can't understand how people aren't.
Maybe they patented the idea or whatever. But
how
really,
can you? How can you?
Maybe a piano on and whatever the way they power it, and like the speaker system could be in a certain. I don't know.
At first, I thought you were talking about,
but it really is just about creating the relationships with Disney Springs and all these other companies first. Because as long as you got a good relationship, they're not going to hire.
And it's the most. And honestly, and I'm not saying this as a joke. It will be the smoothest, most upkept concrete you'll ever ride a piano on.
At Disney Springs?
Yeah, I mean, they're the people. You know, if you can get in over there, you're going to have a nice environment to play.
So packed, it'd be hard to even move. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I had a couple more questions for him, though, does the pianist have a weapon of some sort?
Why would he have a weapon?
I don't know. Like, I would at least have an asp. there's one of those asps. Because they're Russians. They get up on you. You know, they're close talkers. You get back. You know, whack them back as they're tipping your tip jar.
I like when you come up with an idea and turn it into a business, and then now you're hustling to grow the business, and then you get burnt out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, God, I built myself
damn
a
electric piano prison.
And then after you sell it,
and then you're driving your piano away from a party, and don't look it up. And you hate yourself.
Yeah. And then all you're doing as an owner, you just schedule. You're just
we need a piano at the Potato Festival in Idaho.
Yeah,
we need a piano at the Crawfish Festival in Louisiana.
And then all your entertainers, because they're all, they're like
the guys that build this make more money than us.
Yeah.
They hate you.
Yeah, and all the piano players are addicts, and they're like,
they're all alcoholics. I almost made that joke, and I didn't.
They're like, Bill didn't show up.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it.
Have Bubba play. Yeah. We can't.
And then, so you have to constantly put out fires and scheduling.
Yeah, well, most of it's fire from their crack pipes. Because they've been on the tugboat all night.
And then you're like, oh, God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
relying on other people is the part I can't get behind.
Yeah.
Like you and I riding a mobile podcast thing, that's fine. That'll work. But anybody else, we're sending it someplace else for somebody else to do it, ain't going to work.
Yeah, but then we're going out to the Strawberry Festival to do our mobile podcast, and then we're
here at the Strawberry Festival. It's Tom and Dan.
Yeah. They were constantly, everybody's like, what is this? Well, we're trying to do a show.
Trying to explain what it is. They're like, my cousin's got a podcast. What y'all talking about? My cousin's got a podcast. It's good.
Yeah.
He talks about bull riding.
Yeah, then one of our wheels gets stuck in the dirt, and then I'm like,
we have to ask some big country boys to help get us out of there. I'm like, will you help us? Hey, this weak little M-word needs us to get his gay piano out of the mud.
Yeah. And then I'm ratcheting back under our trailer at the end of the night.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. We ride home in silence.
I'm like, where's the goddamn promoter? He's like, he hasn't paid us yet.
We ride home in silence. Yeah. Not paid. Not paid.
And then I'm like, the
but
promoter...
then you see Zell come through, and it's only for half the amount.
Yeah, because they're like, I heard from my son no one was looking at you. And my son's, he said he doesn't even like you anymore.
That's really funny. Everyone's turned their back.
He listens to fantasy football podcasts.
Oh, they're good. They're good. They'd never drive around a piano.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.